You have not lightning rod, Iris.
Girl's gotta be her own hero every now and again.
I make the toys, man.
I love you.
To me, you've been dead for centuries.
I am the future Flash.
Why Iris West mattered.
Hi everybody, welcome through the pipeline. My name is Jade. We're very excited to bring you the third episode. Thank you so much for all the love on the last couple episodes. It's been really, really nice, and we love hearing your thoughts and opinions, and we value them a lot, and we're so excited to bring the third episode to you. So, we're missing quite a few this episode, but they'll be eventually back. And I actually kind of enjoy having different opinions at different times. It kind of adds to conversation. So, it might happen. Sometimes it might not happen, but it adds to the conversation either way. And I'm really grateful for everyone to be a part of this either way. So we're going to start. Okay. First question. As we approach the end of the hiatus, we've discussed the things we'd like to see happen behind the scenes, as well as what we'd like to see for Iris. What would you like to see for the other characters in terms of the story arc and when the show returns? Start with Barry. Yeah. Go ahead, Ashley.
For Barry, I am just hoping that he gets knocked down less than before. I want to see him use his brain more. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen him really do anything.
That's true.
Having to do with his skills with the police CSI. And everything. CSI, yeah, I couldn't think of the word. But yeah, we haven't seen that much really this season, so I want to see more of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Alymah.
Yes, so for me, same. I want to see Barry more, because he was he's the one who created Gideon. Mm-hmm. So, I tweet one day how I'm supposed to believe that he created Gideon when, his favorite line was, "What I do now, Cisco, what I do now." Yes, so I'm yeah. Okay. So I really, really hope they are working on putting Barry on the front side.
Yeah.
Not I don't want to see Barry being sidelined anymore, because I think it's been 2 seasons now-ish that Barry isn't really the center of the Flash.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense for me. To me, I don't know.
You know what? I was thinking about? I think they're trying to do what Arrow did. How Arrow's Arrow, but it's also all the 7,000 other arrows that there are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to kind of do that where it's this is about Barry, but it's also about this person, that person, this person, but it's still the Flash. I don't know if that's what they're trying to go for. I don't know.
For a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oliver has a big team of people also.
Yeah. I don't really watch Arrow that much, but I've seen them kind of try to go between Alyssa and then have the whole team their storylines. I think they kind of handle that pretty well over there.
Yes, honestly, I feel it was more balanced, Mm-hmm. But in Flash, it's crazy. We have 1,000 episodes on Ralph. And pretty much nothing, for example, last season we had a ton of episodes on Ralph, and pretty much nothing on Barry, Iris, and the core characters.
Yeah.
And in this season, it's more about Nora, and they kind of failed the whole dynamic about Barry being in the center, Mm-hmm. And for me, it's very disappointing. So I'm hoping that it will change. And I also want for my boy Cisco.
Mm-hmm.
I want can they respect him for real? I'm tired to see him as a comical relief, even though he's so funny. I love him so much.
Mm-hmm.
But he can do more. He can do more, and he need more valuable storyline, something he can work with. For Wells, I don't know. I really don't know. I love him, I love him, but I really don't know, because this Wells from Earth a 19, 17, I don't know which one. Like it's very tiring,
Yeah.
and like it will be the sixth season, so
Mm-hmm.
we want more. So please do better. And I'm not sure to bring back another Wells will do the show any favor. So
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I see
So
what you mean.
yeah.
Go ahead,
So
Skye.
it's Skye, and in terms of Barry, you know, I want more personal development. You know, like ever since 501, he's barely considered the fact that he'll never return after he disappears, and he's
Yeah.
not, and he's
Yes.
barely not even thought about the fact that he's not going to be able to bring his
Yes.
own daughter
That's
up,
true.
and it's so
Like
weird.
he's fine,
Mm.
living his
Like-
best life.
I know they often try and be quite light-hearted on the Flash, because other ones are quite dark, like Arrow, but
Mm.
you know, like we need to see him consider these things because it's going to be happening, and we
Right.
know that this year it's going to be happening in 2019. You know,
Yeah.
it's no longer 2024. So I'd like to see him consider that. And also, you know, Caitlin, I'll be the one to mention her. I'm the bigger person. And I'll admit, I'm usually bored, but I'd be less bored if they didn't recycle her storyline.
Yeah.
If they
That's
gave her more of a shot to actually having a storyline, but I actually have my own suspicions about where this character's going to go by the end of the season. And
I think we all
let's just
do.
and let's just say that my suspicions are deadly.
Mm. Maybe,
And
perhaps.
yeah, and also for Cisco, I think they should just treat him like he's a good character and he deserves more development. Like it's not
Yeah.
just this, like he's a
Yeah.
character, but he deserves more development and he deserves to have a storyline that's not just him being upset for one episode.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think that the show could definitely, like, in terms of Barry's intelligence, utilize it more because obviously he was a lot, even though he was less experienced as the Flash in season 1, he was definitely more intelligent on the, I guess, human side. Like he used more jargon, he was like more enthusiastic. There was just like an overall, like, you had the feel that he was capable of creating what Gideon is now. Like that felt like very probable in season 1. But like
Yeah.
as time has gone by and we've seen him like evolve as a Flash, like pretty well, he's like super up there, like maybe J level, like pretty much has it down pat. It's kind of just kind of neglected everything that made him so great in the first place as a human. So I think that if they kind of drew back on that, it'll be more believable for him creating Gideon in the future. And I feel like since everything's moved up now, he would have created Gideon within the next couple of years, and that just doesn't feel probable because he's constantly relying on Team Flash. Like he's like, as Alymah said, like he's always like asking like, how do I do this, guys? Like help me please, I'm so helpless, I don't know what I'm doing. Like also, you know how like he like was trading with Diggle in the crossover and like kind of knew like combat
Yeah.
training. Like can he like please utilize that in his daily life? I just would like to see him not fall every 5 seconds or like get beat up.
Yeah.
Like my girl Iris, like really out here boxing in front. She doesn't have to. She's just
Yes.
doing all those things because like it keeps her prepared and safe. I wish Barry would take the time to, and the fact that he like knows that he keeps getting like knocked down and doesn't do anything about it also irks me. Like if you like keep getting hit or knocked out, maybe you should like, I don't know, call Oliver and be like, hey, how do I throw a punch or something, like, you know?
Yeah, he's been friends with Oliver for like 5 years now.
Mhm.
So like you'd
Over-
think he would have
about
showed
over
him
5
some
years.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
You'd
He
think
just,
like he would have trained with him or something. Like
yeah, very. He's a mess right now. We're just gonna pray. We're gonna pray for him because we know Iris gave him pipeline, balcony, all the things. Cause yeah, and even going into that, like, I hope Nora has like her moment, like her redeemable moment. Cause honestly, I don't know what's going on with her storyline. I don't understand like the whole like timeline thing anymore. Cause like, is she gonna be erased? Is she not gonna be erased? I'm just gonna completely forget that she should be erased from existence. I don't know. So hopefully she has like she finds like she like. They're all on good terms in the end. I hope that happens for her and that she can grow up with both her parents. And for Cisco, you know, stop treating him like his only like purpose is comic relief. He's hilarious. I love everything he says. Everything he says is great and iconic. But
Yes.
please, the man has a brain. Let him use it, please.
Yes.
yes.
Also, Caitlin, she no, for real. her storyline has been kind of repetitive, as is everyone else's
Yes.
for the past couple of years. But I'd like to see can we stop kind of also demonizing mental health and having multiple personalities is a weird bad thing. Can we just kind of make it so it's and not it's so I think they kind of tried to do that where they were like, oh, I want to keep her just part of me, blah 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 blah. But actually just her storyline and just in general, I just wish they gave her more just a better arc and a better I don't know, story. Yeah. Hopefully they give her Wells. I don't know. They're 5,000 Wells. Is just one less Wells would be cool. But if we're gonna have a Wells next year, I hope it's one that we already had, so we already know him, and we don't have to completely learn about a new Wells. Yeah, preferably Harry. I like Harry a lot.
Yeah, I feel like if they want to keep Tom, can we just stick with one Wells?
Yeah.
We don't need a new one every year, and I do like Harry, so I feel like let's just bring him back and just keep him there.
Yeah.
I miss HR.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Well,
miss
he's
HR.
dead, so.
To be honest.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna tell a little lie right now, a little truth. I when I was binging, I did not watch all of season 3, really. So I don't know much about HR except that he died and that he was there. So you don't know. I watched all the West Allen seasons, I promise, but I just wanted to know why Iris died and when she died. I was like, oh, I'm gonna find out right now. So HR was I don't know much about him, but he was there and he was a good dude. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and I just want to add for Caitlyn, like you said, her storyline now is quite repetitive, so I don't want no more origin reboot from Killer Force. I think that's enough. It's very, very confusing. We don't there is still a division among fans. Some people saying that Caitlyn and Killer Frost are the same person. Some people are saying no, they are two different person. So I would like for them to clarify that. Even for me, in my personal opinion, they are the same person.
Really? Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
I don't believe in I don't believe in to be the same person. I think that Killer Frost, generally, I think that she's. I don't think they're the same person. I feel like I've kind of looked into the kind of disorder she has in the real world. I've kind of been looking into it and just on my own, just outside the show. Even before I started watching the show, I was really interested in it, so I read up on it. And for the most part, most people who have that consider themselves and their personalities to be different people. So I think that if they're kind of going with that and they're kind of running with that, then Killer Frost is essentially a different person from Caitlyn. But then that also complicates. It just there's so many things that complicates. When she has kids, is it Caitlyn? Is it Killer Frost's kid? Is it Caitlyn's kid? Is it everyone's kid? Whose kid is it? I don't know. I'm just thinking about those things. I wish they would just clarify. Or even if they could separate them. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that because of course they'd still be close because obviously they share a whole body, but I feel like if they could do that, so that wouldn't.
You know what? I think it would be more understandable for us, the viewer. So honestly, I think I'd rather see them two different person.
Yeah.
It will be more easy. When someone is doing that, hurting someone, trying to kill someone, we know that person is the one who did it, and not maybe. No, it's not. It's having this huge debate between yes, it was Caitlyn, yes, it was Killer Frost. And
if you think about it, they're kind of it kind of becomes a scapegoat. If Caitlyn does something inherently bad, they're oh, it was Killer Frost.
Yes.
When I'm pretty sure with the whole human trafficking thing that people talk about,
yes.
they were that's Killer Frost, y'all. No big deal. It's fine. It wasn't Caitlyn, but I feel that is also kind of their if she does something wrong, here's why she did it. It's not Caitlyn, because Caitlyn is inherently pure. But nobody is inherently pure because we're all human. So Caitlyn obviously has to have done something bad in her life. So I feel like they
but there is bad and bad.
Yeah. They also I feel like they attribute every bad thing Caitlyn could do or does towards Killer Frost, but Caitlyn has her own demons. I guess I feel like they should just explore that more, to be fair.
Yes, it would be so interesting to see that.
Plus, at the time when she was working with well, when she was working with Savitar, they weren't separate people.
Yes, for me,
Yeah.
for me, it's
Caitlyn
clear
was
at that
still
time. Yes, she
coherent
was.
during all that.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
Pretty much what has been already said. Like for Barry, I want to see him use his intelligence more, and kind of bring back some of that season 1 flow.
Yeah.
For Cisco, I can't really say what I want for him until I know what's happening with him, because if he's leaving or if he's going to be reducted down, then my opinion is going to change, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But if he does end up staying, I think I would really want to dig back into maybe his family or a little more backstory.
Yes,
because I really loved that in like season 1 and 3-ish. We kind of got it, and then they kind of just after Dante died, it was really like, oh, he doesn't have a family anymore. Which I understand he had a rocky relationship with his parents, but I feel like that would be something interesting, or maybe, you know, like how did they deal with Dante's death, and like there's just a lot you could do with Cisco. And for Nora, I don't really know either, because she kind of has irritated me a lot with a lot of things. She's kind of been like a love-hate character for me this season.
Same. I
like
her a lot, though.
and again, and if she's leaving this season, then I can't really say what I would want for her next season, because I honestly have no clue what I'm walking into for season 6 at all. So
I've heard rumors, I've heard scrufflings that there's going to be a Mia Smoke TV show that they're developing, which I really
I've heard about that.
So I love Cat.
That would be really nice.
It'd be really nice. Yeah.
I'm not watching.
Why not? Alymah, hello.
Did she get?
I guess she got cut off. But
like I was continuing saying or whatever. I would totally watch that, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
I would.
I'd watch the heck out of that. Oh my god, yeah.
But anyways, and then for Ralph, I don't really know. I don't want anything from Ralph. I know that sounds harsh, but I feel like in season 4 was all about his development. Season 5 was kind of continuing it on the low, and I'm really tired of him, honestly. I feel like they have too many season-long like members.
Yeah.
So I really don't have anything for Ralph, and for Caitlyn. For Caitlyn, I really want them to bring Shannon the therapist back. I think they all could use therapy a little bit, but I just feel like Caitlyn especially, because I just feel like she has a lot of PTSD and a lot of just traumatic experiences. They all do, but like, and then with this whole double personality thing, I really think that is something that they should not take lightly.
Yeah.
And it's not used as a prop, I guess, but that's what they seem to be doing with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just wish, and I would really, I mean, this isn't character-wise, but I really would like a change of scenery. As much as I love Star Labs, I just want them to interact outside of Star Labs. Maybe like meet up all at like Jitters, or like in season 4 when they all were out hanging out playing laser tag, and then they were eating afterwards. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really
You know what made me laugh the other day?
Scenery.
Yeah. You know what made me laugh the other day? When the Star Labs got destroyed, and I was like, yes. Really? And then the next scene, oh my god, I love the new tables. They're so cool. They're not new tables, they're like new old tables. Like, no, I don't want new tables, I want new scenery. Like, why go short of Star Labs for? Like, if you're not gonna, like, go somewhere else. Like, I feel like I love Star Labs. Like, you know, a lot of things happen there, good memories, everything like that. But, like, I'd love to see them. It could be like
time to move on.
Yeah, like, you have more scenes like Bear and Iris' Loft. I'd love to be there more. I'd love to be, I don't know, like, outside, like, the one time when they were in the park together and they got food, yeah, that was nice, too. Like, just random, like, street walking scenes. Like, they kind of had that, like, when they went to go to the ATM last episode, and that was nice to see them outside. It was great. And also, can Iris please leave Star Labs and be more at her office? I would love that for her. Please. It'd be great. To work to get Star Labs every 5 seconds. Okay. So,
yes, we need Central Citizen now. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like a tongue twister. And speaking of Iris, okay, so we've seen Iris grow throughout the season as a well-respected wife, mother, and businesswoman, which is ironically a stark contrast to the way Candace has been treated outside the show. Despite her talent, people still find their heart to spread negativity. Recently, a few people have spoken up about the mistreatment of Black women and POC actors in regards to the DC TV universe. Why do you think it's taken so long for someone to say something so openly, and how do you guys feel about it?
Oh, it's a difficult question. Honestly, I do feel bad about it because I kind of feel she's working in a pretty toxic environment. And I don't want to say toxic. Maybe toxic is too harsh. Like the word is too harsh.
Yeah.
But it really seems like it has to be very, very difficult for her.
Yeah.
And for all the people, like people of color in the Arrowverse, because as can you remind me his
Makad, yes.
Makad
Yes,
said,
I think so.
Sorry, I didn't want to butcher his name, but I did it anyway. Like he said, it's among the fans, the like DC Comics fans, and like it's fanboys, and there is also girls, of course.
Yeah.
But it's so complicated, and the fact that no one really has her back, it's like I said, I don't really understand. It doesn't make sense for me because like they are supposed to be a cast, they are supposed to be a team,
right?
And why no one is talking about it and say, you know what, like I'm working with her, please stop that. I know sometimes Grant did it on his Instagram, I think.
Yes.
But it wasn't how I can say. Vocal enough. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to say it. Skye, what do you think?
Well, I think that if people haven't spoken up, and people who are passionate about it, you see them liking things on the TL, but if they haven't spoken up, I think a lot of people are scared because talk about these things can be scary, and finding the right words are hard because it can be a topic that's hard to breach. If that makes sense. But I think that the more people speak about it, the more other people are going to speak about it, especially if more people who are actors from that Arrowverse, screenwriters from that Arrowverse speak about it, it's going to get better. And I feel like recently Candice has been even more vocal about it, because she deserves to be treated with respect and to have people know how to do her hair. And she deserves to have casual show viewers recognise her sheer talent, and I feel like her speaking up about that has helped. Because it's about her, and it makes her feel better about it. But also I think that, speaking about this, it doesn't make it just better for other Black people in the Arrowverse, it makes it better for Black people in TV in general who are being cast in lead roles. So, like, for example, Kiesa Clemens was cast as the Iris West in Ezra Miller's Flash, for Ezra Miller's Flash. And, so if that wasn't for Candice, that wouldn't have happened.
Exactly, yes, of course, 100%. That's Candice's impact, honestly. Yes. I know. Miss Sab has a lot to say about this. Is she here?
Yeah.
All right, Miss.
Listening to y'all.
Okay, ma'am. Go on. Perhaps.
Well, for me, it's just like, it's been 5 years. At this point, I don't want to hear no other cast members say nothing because it's fucking bullshit. Because they waited 5 years. They never said anything. They complained about their little garbage things that wasn't even that much important. They had time to go online and flirt and just like say cute little shit, but they never could stand up for her. And I think that's just fake. And I'm glad that she's finally starting to be around people that are like, they're gonna stand up for her. And I think it's just sad that it took like someone from another cast who also had a Black person that was experiencing the same thing, and he was like, okay,
she must have cut off. I think she cut off. Okay, so when she comes back, we'll have her fish competition. Ashley, what do you think for the meantime?
I think definitely more people should stand up. Like, more people in the cast should stand up for her when they see those things going on. And like, I'm just really happy that like they were able to have that conversation, her and like Ozzy and Makad. And that she's like that they're able to talk about it with each other.
Yeah,
But
I think it's good. Yeah.
I hope more people are able to speak up about it.
Yeah.
Yes, even the network, the showrunners, the writers.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it'd be nice if everyone spoke up more. I think that even for me, when we were discussing whether or not to talk about this or bring this up, I found it personally like more relay. I was like, is this a good idea? Is it not a good idea? But then I thought about the fact that Candace has been so vocal this entire year, and just like it seems for like in general since this year has happened, she's been kind of vocal about like what she wants for herself, what she thinks everyone else deserves. I think that kind of gave me the courage to think we should talk about this, because it's not only like, of course it's their conversation obviously because it involves Candace directly, but I think even if we talk about more within the fandom, because it's where it originates from, or in that it exists within this kind of like niche where this all comes from in relation to what we're talking about. I won't like to specifically name what this is because we all know what it is. But I think that it could everyone wants better for everybody, obviously, but I just think that it having to come from somebody else, as Sam said before, who wasn't in the cast, who is on another cast in another DC TV show, but to speak up about something that she was experiencing and noticed it, and why it's taken so long for someone to say something, and not only for someone to say something, but for someone to be, and then just the fact that it's a different show makes me annoyed, because not only is it just jarring for me, because at first I had to look up who he was. I don't watch these TV shows. So I was like, who is this? And then just to find out that it's just like, it just makes me annoyed. I feel like we have a good cast, and whether you like, whenever anyone has qualms with whoever, which actor, whatever, because like everyone has their own opinions. I think that everyone deserves to have equal support in every aspect. So like, if someone does something inherently bad 1 week, and someone does something good next, I think that there should always be some kind of support system there in some way. So like
a lot of it also is racially rooted too, because some of the problems that the people have like trying to find and like, well, you can't talk about this because I remember you said this and that wasn't correct. And I'm like, okay, but did you guys have like forgotten you have persecuted this person simply because you don't want them near your white fave, you don't want them doing this? Like, it wasn't a problem until they got close to your white fave and they weren't following the storylines that you wanted to see. And my thing also is, a lot of people are always like, oh, well, I don't see the bullying, I don't see the disrespect, and that's not true. And it's not just the Flash cast, it's the CW altogether. Because I know for a fact, okay, so let's take the Supergirl cast. Everybody on that cast is a social justice warrior. They're always fighting for equality and blah, 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 blah. But none of them has spoken out about the racism that Makar has faced. Are you serious?
Really?
Like, none of them. And when your fans are, it's not even just racism. If your fans, majority of your fans are booing someone at a con that you're at, say something to them.
Wow, I didn't know that. Oh my god. Yeah, I think that seems to be a running problem with CW shows and casts, that they seem to be there for every other problem. If it's equal pay, we all want equal pay, but what about equal treatment for Black women, equal treatment for POC? What about that? Can we like
I'm out here for like trans rights and gay rights and all of that? I'm here for it, but you can't just choose to fight certain battles and not other ones.
Yeah,
especially if you pride yourself on like being an advocate for the people and doing all this. And when it's time to do the interviews and to face cameras, you're there, you're answering the questions, you're taking the pats on the back for fighting the good fight, but then you're letting your castmate drown in racism and stuff. Like, that's wow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there an instance at like some point when Candace was being paid less than somebody, or was being paid less than Grant? Or did that happen, or am I making that up?
It's like the truth, to be honest. I mean,
women generally get paid less than men, especially Black women.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if I'm mixing up, but I feel like there was something where I heard either one of them talking about like the fact that Candace paid less, and that they advocated for her to be paid more. I don't know. I mean, did you guys hear about that? Am I going crazy?
I think I heard about it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not going crazy. So I feel like
she was getting paid less than even some side characters that weren't even that important.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I think I heard something along the lines that Grant was like, "Oh, she's paid the same as me." Blah blah blah. So I think that there is. I mean, I wish that, because right now the cast is clearly a mess. I'm not even gonna bring up what's been going on, but y'all know what's been going on,
yes,
and it's like
it's really frustrating because with Grant, right? He saw 5 comments maybe about how skinny he was, and he went on this whole rampage about I'm being body shamed. Ow, you always coming from me, and it was national coverage, you know. CNN was reporting it, TMZ was reporting it, New York Times was reporting it, but he has never used that one platform to say, hey, my co-star is being bullied because she's black. That must stop. Hey, Keenan just got into the cast, but because he's not white, he's getting bullied. Like wow. You know what? I'm just gonna stop because this didn't.
Yeah, I think there was also, I'm trying, like, obviously y'all know I'm not a Gus stan, like, at all whatsoever by any means, but I think there was also an instance where he, like, talked about, when like, after Me Too happened, he was talking about, like, all of the people and, like, the cast that he, like, admired, like, the women he works with are strong, blah, 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 whatever, so I think that he knows that it's important, like, the inkling is there to say stuff and to speak up. But like when you look at that and realize that he has the inkling to do that, and he knows that that's what he's not to. Yeah, he just chooses not to. And I didn't want to. I hate naming names because
I love naming names. Name girl. I love it.
I hate naming names because I hate drama and shit like that. I like drama, but like
it's not drama if you're stating facts.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, like Gustin, like do better. Like just. Everyone do better, but like specifically Gustin, just
NDP.
Yeah, yes.
Let's not even get into her because she another whole different story. Because that lady, something wrong with her.
I feel like just in general, I just like everyone is kind of doing like. Everyone's their own man, like every man for themselves. I feel like that is a weird thing that kind of goes on with this cast. I feel like that they do. I watched a couple different shows, and I feel like I've always loved the idea of being in the cast. It's always seemed like this kind of like family like Joe thing where everyone's close and everyone like goes to people's houses for dinner and like spends time with their families. But like
they don't stand up for each other. Like other casts I've seen, like they shut down like let's take the Titans cast for instance. They shut down they were not for it. If you go to any other cast, if like someone's experiencing like racism or like homophobic comments, like they're shutting it down. This cast, they've had 5 years to say something. Even if you don't have social media, you could have said something at a con or something. You could have said something when people ask you certain questions about a ship created out of racism. You could have literally said something and put time, but you chose not to. And my thing is, if you see something wrong is happening and you don't say nothing, you're contributing to that. Whether you like it or not, you're contributing to that.
Listen, I'm gonna put a PSA right now. Someone's going to a con very, very soon at their own con, and I think if anyone wants to be bold and say something to them, I would stand you forever. I'm not gonna say who because I just really don't want to get that messy. But y'all know who I'm talking about. If y'all want to say something right then there and be like, "Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to be doing?" I would love you forever. I would literally get a shirt with your face in it. Like, please. I just think that.
No, I would just like someone to be like, "Hey, I've noticed that the cast have never publicly spoken out about the racism that Candace has been facing for 5 years. And I understand that a lot of you guys are proud that she's strong and this and that, but you got no one has stepped up to help her deal with that. And
Yeah.
I think it's not enough that you guys may say something to her backstage. It's also you have to say something publicly, because a lot of those people doing the bullying and being racist are your fans.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
It's
Mr.
that's
Skateboard?
So I was, oh my God, stop. Like I was saying before, it's not enough to hold on. It's not enough to, like I was saying before, like when he was talking about like the Me Too thing and like equal pay, whatever. It's not enough to do it behind the scenes and us hear stories about it. Like hearing stories about it is great, but like if we could actually see that like publicly, that would be nice. So if anyone wants to, like, I'm putting it out into the universe right now, like if anyone wants to do that, like just like say something. Like, just, I think that it'd be great. And if we could get, like, a real, genuine, authentic, unscripted response from somebody as to why it hasn't happened.
I already know what his stupid answer is going to be.
I know.
We have love for each other backstage. The cast is always there supporting each other. Blah, 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 blah. Next question.
So, like, hey, yo, like, dude, like, I mean, like, I love Candace, and, like, she's great and everything, but, like, I don't gotta say things out loud. She feels it, like, in her heart. She knows that I care about her. That's what he's gonna say. Something like that.
I think she's hold up strong on her own, and I don't really want to step on her turf and blah, 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 blah.
She's
like, okay.
Strong female lead, and I feel like she can handle things on her own.
I hate that. Like, I feel like that is itself a stereotype, that Black women are so strong that they never need anyone else to defend them. Everyone always expects Black women to stand up and support their causes and stand up strong with them, but who's standing up strong for us? Like, it literally takes one of us to support the other two of us. Like, going out.
Oh my gosh.
You know what could be also? We've kind of collectively, as like a society, kind of adopt. Not that it doesn't exist, because it obviously does exist. We've kind of adopted like this thing where if a white person speaks up on the Black person's issue, it's white savior, and I feel like that might also be a thing why some people might not want to speak up, because like it's like, oh, if they're talking, then she's like, there's like a white savior moment, like, but no. If it's like the cast, then like I don't think that really applies to what were you gonna say? Whoever said
I was
gonna
add. I haven't really got to speak on this yet, but
whoa,
yeah,
is that me?
I don't think
someone's phone is acting up.
Oh, that scared me. I thought it was my headphones. I was like, I'm going to the Apple
Store. I was like, wait, what's that?
But anyways, basically what you were saying, Jade, I think that a lot of the times, I mean, honestly, if you really just look at it, a lot of the cast was bullied off social media just throughout the Arrowverse in general.
Yes.
But I think a lot of it also has to deal with the fact that when they do speak up, people's like, oh, you can't speak on this, or they call them white feminism, I just think that is another contribution to, or whatever. It is contributing to why people aren't saying anything.
Yes.
And with like Grant, I mean, he got off Twitter or whatever, and then even though people make jokes about that or whatever, he obviously he did what was best for his mental status, but and I think that's just how he doesn't want to say anything because he can't deal with the negative backlash of it. And I think that's how it goes with a lot of it, and I'm not excusing any behavior for them not sticking up for it, because Candace deals with a lot, and she's even said that, and she said it herself, she doesn't like social media that much for that reason. So, but I do think that is a main reason why there isn't many people speaking out on it. And Makad, he, regardless how I feel about him, he's already previously spoken up about this before, so he's already dealt with a lot of it, so I feel like that's why it was easier for him to say. And because, he related, and he and Azzy was there too, or whatever, however you pronounce her name. So I feel like it was kind of like a group thing. Like they said, they talked about it as a group, and it was sad that it came down to that. And I just feel like it was, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
It is hard to explain. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so about the white feminism thing, they're only called them white feminists when they only deal with certain problems that pertains to white women. Like, a lot of time you see them fighting for let's take equal pay for a minute. A lot of white women are like, well, every woman should fight for this. Oh, we need to get equal pay. But at the end of the day, even if you do, white women makes $1 as the same amount as a white man. At the end of the day, women of color are still going to make less. So it's kind of like a certain thing. And with certain actresses and on the CW, is they speak about certain issues that brings light to their situation. not to what's going on to the other actresses that are actually dealing with deeper and heavier situation than themselves. Like, let's take Shithordi, for example.
Yes. Oh, we're going there. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it was created by Candace and Katie, right? To talk about certain issues, but then at the end of the day, it is overshadowed by certain issues that Candace does not face. It's just a larger group of people, like, it's just weird. And with the white savior thing, it's just, you have to listen to what's being said. The only problem people have when, like, if a white person speaks up is, like, everybody praised them for the exact same thing that a person of color has spent years saying. It's just, if they, like, okay, let's take an example. If Grant said the exact same thing Makad has said, do you know how much national coverage that would get?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
Definitely, 100%, yeah.
Like, oh, he's standing up for his co-star. He da 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 da. But it took him 10,000 years to do it, and Makad has spoken about it before. So that's kind of like, there's a way to address a certain situation.
Yeah, and I think
sit down. Sorry.
No, sorry. No, it's okay.
You just sit down and listen.
Mm-hmm. I think after someone Skye says something before we go, and Ashley as well. But I think that if someone in the Flash cast doesn't say something now because we all are obviously aware of what he said. Like, Makad was very open, public. Like, he wrote like a whole notes app thing. Like, got notes out app. Like, he was really, really serious about it. But I think that if someone from the Flash cast doesn't bring it up or doesn't take the opportunity to say something, like it's well thought out, I think it could look bad. Because I don't know. I just feel like it just, like we said before, it just looks weird to me personally to have someone from different casts say something about something that doesn't even pertain to them.
Ask a question to you guys though. Okay, at this point, after 5 going on 6 years, if one of the cast members from The Flash came out and say something, do you think it would be sincere, or do you think they're just gonna go on the bandwagon and just like go off of what Makad has said?
I think it depends.
Yeah.
I think it depends on if they finally had the courage to speak up and just say whatever was on their mind, and it always, to me, it always depends on the wording too, because if they can word it correctly, and you can kind of tell the difference between when somebody's being sincere and when somebody's just hopping on the bandwagon.
I feel like this is the perfect moment. Oh, hold on. I feel like this is the perfect moment, and if they were waiting for someone else to give them that, like, that way in, like, I think that, because, like, now Makad's spoken about it, okay, someone else who relates to that has spoken about it, so now I can speak out about it, and it won't be as bad. It won't be like me hopping on the bandwagon. It'll be more like me joining the conversation instead of me starting the conversation. So I think that the people in the cast who maybe aren't people of color don't want to start the conversation for people of color, but they want to join it. So I feel like if that
that itself is a problem, because you're watching people struggle. You're not saying nothing. You're just waiting to jump in when it's beneficial to say, oh yeah, I did that, I jumped in, I helped out, but you weren't helping them when no one else was willing to do that.
Yeah, and like me, even as a Black woman, I don't think that I know that there are problems with the way the cast interacts with each other and the way that things are set up and everything like that. But I genuinely think that, for example, we talked about Grant being like very sensitive to things said to him on social media. Like, obviously he's a very sensitive person, takes things to heart. We see that, we know that. He's kind of like Barry in that way, I guess, whatever. But I just think that like I said, I don't think he meant, like, there are things that he should have done and said before that he, like, definitely should have said at times, stuff like that. Like, when, like, when they're, like, certain comments on Instagram, like, either delete them, block them, report them, whatever. Like, if you don't want to say anything, you could do that. I think that this would be a good time for him to say something. If he was scared to say something, it'd be nice.
I don't think he was scared. I think he was like, he has one of those mentalities. It's not my problem. It doesn't affect me. I'm not going to say nothing just because I don't want to appear a certain way. And with him, it's all about image.
I think some people also need kind of someone to say something first, that kind of that push. Because I know for myself, I'm like that in that way. Like,
me as well.
I sometimes can't like speak up about something until someone does, and then I'll feel more comfortable too. So I don't know. I feel like that. I'm very like quiet in that way, and like I would need someone to speak up first, and then I'd feel more comfortable doing that. So like it could also be that situation.
I feel like for me, because this fandom, there's so many wonderful Black women in this fandom, and I feel like that they speak about this so much, and that I feel like that whenever I speak about it, I know what I'm speaking about first of all, because I don't want to be having this conversation and not having the knowledge, if that makes sense. And I also feel like I don't want to overstep their conversation, because their conversation means far more to them. I mean, it does to me, but you know what I mean? And they've had that experience, and they probably know more about me than what it's like. And I feel like it's important that while it's important, I do talk about these things, that I don't ruin their conversation, or I don't make
but you listen, Skye, you're like a real ally. You listen to what they say. You don't just jump in and try to be like, well, yeah, I know the conversation too, but whatever, and derail. You listen, you see, you watch what happens. Like, you've been witness to this for years, and you understand, and you've talked about with Black women about these issues. So that's completely different than just someone coming in and saying, well, I don't actually think what they're saying is true because I haven't seen this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
I just think it's overall important to not overshout or take over a conversation completely. And
I feel
like I love that. I love all the people in this fandom who do speak about it, and I love your conversations. They're amazing.
Yeah, I think that's where most of the cast lies. So regardless of how you feel about them, I feel like that's the gray area where they're at. Now it's like, if I speak up, am I that white savior? Am I that? Is it too late to speak up? Should I have spoken up this and then? And when they come to that realization that they either they came to it a long time ago and they just don't feel like it's worth it anymore, because no matter what someone says at some point, someone's always gonna have something negative to say. So let's say Hartley says something, and then everyone's like, yeah, that's great, but then someone else is like, okay, well, why didn't you speak about this 5 years ago? There's
it wasn't in the past 5 years
ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm trying to give a different.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think it's also fear. There's they're afraid of the backlash and just having to deal with a bunch of fans coming into their comments and saying something. And to me, I think a co-worker of yours that you have to be close to by now after 5 years, feelings and state of mind is more important than a couple of trolls on Twitter who you can just turn off the comment section.
Yeah,
and if you need to elaborate, you have cons you do every year. You can just sit there and have a genuine conversation, and you'll be heard for what you want them to be, what you want them to interpret, without getting people twisting your words or anything.
Yeah, and since you've talked about that, I think I want to also talk about why, for a little bit, maybe 5 minutes. Why do you think people can't separate themselves from actors from the characters? Why is that? Really briefly, everyone else. So I'm gonna go start with Sal real quickly. Why do you guys think that?
I just think people don't understand that these people, this is their job. They just get a packet of paper and their job is to bring it to life. And I think that is, a big main reason of why people can't ever seem to separate it, fiction from reality.
Yeah.
I also do think it has to do with people's for instance, if somebody really hates an actor or an actress, they take it out on that character as well. And it goes both ways.
Yes, of course.
I just feel like people need to come to realize that this person, a fictional character's mind is obviously going to be different because it's not real. And this person is responsible for their own actions. And I feel like people don't see that. But that's pretty much my main.
Yeah. Skye?
I think that people find it hard to separate them because, obviously they're very, very closely linked.
Yes.
But I do think that the not separating them is really toxic, because if a character does something that someone doesn't like, they're going to put it on the actor and they're going to get hate for that. And, you see it all the time. You see people criticising, Candice, for example, for something Iris did that they didn't like, the rubbed them on the wrong way. And it's just really, it's really toxic, and it goes both ways, even the nice stuff. For example, Barry and Iris, they are not Grant and Candice, but people go too far with it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I think people get so lost in the show that they forget there are real people behind those characters, and this is not their life. They have a life outside of this. and it's just their job that they're going to every day to like bring you this show, and people just forget that.
Yeah, Alymah?
Yes, I mean, you pretty much said everything, and maybe also it comes with maturity. I don't know, because, for example, when I was much younger, I used to watch One Tree Hill, and my favorite was Brooke Davis, and I hated Peyton. And I saw the actress in other shows, and in other shows, wait, is it me? No. And in other shows, I didn't also enjoy her characters. So, you know, when sometimes an actress just play characters you don't like, sometimes it can be difficult to, you know, separate the both of us. And for example, there is this what's her name? Tori DeVito. You know, she was in One Tree too. She was playing the crazy nanny, and she also played in Vampire Diaries. She was playing Meredith. And she also played in Chicago Med, and you know, a lot of people say she was annoying in the all of the show. And also she was playing in Pretty Little Liars, and people say she was also annoying there. So I think, you know, maybe when you become a little bit older, you can really fully understand that, you know, because we have to say that in Twitter there is some like young people. And actually there is, I don't know if you remember, there is the one girl who was pretending to be a West Island Candice fan, an Irish fan, and like she was just a Snowberry fan, you know. And the weird part is to pretend to be fan of something and someone just to hurt them. Like, for me, it's too much time. Like, people are like, it's crazy to me. And actually, I was talking about, like, I tweeted about the song Murder Song, because it was playing on my iPod, and I said I was so depressed. Like, these songs make me feel so bad, but the song is so good. And she was saying like, oh, I love this song. And she was also talking about she was body shaming Candice, sorry. And when I tried to engage with her, and like, for example, one day she said, oh, they are sibling, and I said, like, I commented like, it's crazy because you'll say that and you're the one who ship John Neris in God, Game of Thrones. And she said, no, you're the one who she plays, and I'm 14, and I thought to myself, no, like, I'm a grown ass woman. I'm not going to entertain with a 14 years old who like doesn't know anything. So
I think that you, like you said, it's a sign of maturity. It's also just like people like, that's why they're like fan fictions of like actors together and things like that. I think it's also like people just want what they see on screen, and like the screen. I think that the problem also with kind of some shows is the fact that there isn't really much of an aspect of realism. So when you look at shows like This Is Us, stuff like that, where like it's kind of like more of a real aspect to it. There isn't much cause for that because there isn't like a fantasy aspect to it. So I think that people think that because it's a fantasy show and like things are made, that they can also be like, okay, well, if the Flash is made, I can also make a fan fiction about like the actors and it's gonna be okay because like it's like not real. I don't think that people's, like as you said, maturity is a really big part of people's understanding that actors are not their characters not their actors. No matter what, if you're saying nice things, bad things, good things, in between things, everyone needs to separate themselves. I mean, like, of course actors talk good about that. Like Candace always talks about how she's inspired by Iris and how like things and stuff like that, and like of course actors don't always replicate their characters' moral fibers. We've seen that very recently, but I just think that, yeah, as you said, maturity and just people need to understand more. And now that, since we've talked about that, I think that also the network has a big role to play in this, and they often say that they all, like their slogan is "open to all," but we don't see them really being open to all or advocating for everyone to be treated equally. So why do you think that is, and what do you think that they could do to make that better? I'll start with me because I'm first apparently in this. Oops. Okay, so I think that the network, like they say open to all, obviously, and that's a great slogan. Like, yeah, that looks great. Like, y'all here for diversity, we love that. But like, I think that if they could put out statements, like if they could, like, we don't like I can't remember where I recently saw it, but I think there was like some TV show or something like that said that like, or I've seen it a couple times from other TV shows where they explicitly say like we chose, like I think it might have been Titans where someone like said that they chose Anna to be Starfire, she's our Starfire, like that's who she is. I feel like if the CW or the producers or the executives like would just be like, Candice is our Iris, she's our Iris, like I feel like if they put out statements like or just said something more, the network was more helpful in getting people to, not that racism is ever gonna stop, because that's not even like a Flash issue, that's like a whole like world issue thing, but yes. I feel like we could limit that if they were just open to it, being open to all and advocate like really be open to all and be like, hey, this isn't okay, here's why it's not okay, here's how we chose her, and here's how you guys can, like, if you don't like it, don't watch the show. Like I feel like if they could just do that and say something about it, it would make things a lot better. And not even like on social media, I feel like I want that like after the episode, or like before it's like a whole like readable statement, like I want that like up there. Yeah. 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 Everyone, so
yeah, I mean basically just bouncing off what you've already said, I also think that if they start treating their more diverse cast and storylines with more respect and not just as a prop, and I see this a lot with like the LGBT community. They tend to have their storylines and their characters and their couples and all that, they tend to have them to be just for the plot and not really for the diversity part. So I do feel like if maybe they would stop doing that and start including it and treating it like it's normal. Like there's this big Twitter debate going on right now about something, I think it was for Pretty Little Liars, about how one of their couples or whatever, it was a female and female couple, they made them get divorced for the sake of the plot. But wow. All the
Emily and Allison.
Really? Wow! I didn't know that.
But apparently, all like the straight couples are all happy and together, and I just feel like when they purposely do that, but then they want to pass it off as being diverse, because we included that in there. Like they need to do more in terms of more like detail and really dig into it. The same with people of color and interracial relationships and just all of it in general. They just need to stop treating it like a plot device.
Yeah. Like, no one's your token, like, they're not here to be your token black girl, token black boy, token black this and that, token LGBT. Utilize them and just treat them right and respectfully. Ashley, Sab, Skye, whoever.
I agree.
Okay, so, go ahead. Whoever wants to go. Sab, go ahead. Sab, yeah.
I think they can separate the two, it's just they're very selective about who. When certain actors play certain roles, like that is a bit racy, they're able to, like, if you say, oh, I don't like this actor because they played a slave owner per se, and X movie, a lot of like the same people that will say, oh, they're not their characters, blah 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 blah, but in the same breath they will go and like demonize an actor for playing a character just because of a certain thing they don't like about said actress or actor. I think they're able to separate the two. It's just they're very selective about who. I think a lot of fanboys, they're able to separate Candace from Iris, but because they hated the fact that Candace was cast as Iris and that they turned her into a black woman, they just carried that, like they automatically hated that character. So nothing that she ever would have done would have helped them like the character, even if like she was written for 2 seconds screen time only. And she had 0 interaction in Star Labs, they still wouldn't like the character based on the sole fact that they cast Candace, a black woman, the nightmares that they see when they sleep as a black Iris. They don't like the character. They don't like her. And so they just kind of took that and they took it and put it next to their heart. And that's it.
Skye?
But they're able to.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go ahead.
I think that when they're talking about being open to all, I think that being open to all means treating them the same completely. So whether, you know, the actor's white, straight, cis, and the, you know, another character or actor's black, gay, trans, whatever, treat them the same. Treat the characters the same. Give them the same respect. Don't villainize one. Don't villainize the black character when you've got all good white characters. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You can have these characters on your show, but treat them right.
Yeah. And this goes with the writing also too. And for example, for me, it's very telling when Candice was talking about, like, she didn't, in the interview, she didn't want to be labeled as a diva because she was asking, for example, for someone who can do her hair, her makeup, etc. And so I think it's, like you say, in the part of that, like, treat them equally, it's to treat them well, and she should have been confident enough to ask that without thinking that, oh, I might be labeled as a diva. And yes, I think the writing has a lot to do also. And they need to cast people of color, like, in the writing room, of course, and behind the scenes. And the CW need to stop the baiting, because, like you said, they use a lot of minority to just say, oh, see, our show diversity, but when you are looking at the show, like, they have barely, like, screen time, and they are treated very, very poorly in the show. So they need to fix that. And overall, I have to say that it's a more general how I can say view. It's more a general issue, than just CW. I think it goes to every network, and everywhere in the world, because I'm French. So
racism is definitely a global issue, so that's something we're going to take of it globally. Ash.
Yeah, I think everything you guys said, and then they, with their open to all thing, like, they bring in these, like, diverse actors and the characters and everything, but then they just fail to write for them and give them the screen time. And because I know, like, even on, like, Riverdale, I hear a lot, I don't watch it, but I hear a lot of fans complain about Casey Cott's character. I forgot his name, but I know he's a gay character on the show, and I know people say, he's never there. Like, they complain all the time about
that's true.
the little screen time he gets.
And the black girl too, I want to add that. Josie, Ashley, Murray, like, honestly, I watched the show for her, like, and I was so happy to see a dark-skinned girl. I won't lie. So that's why I started the show, and I was very, very disappointing. Like, it's hard for me to watch the show because she's really, like, sometimes when they really want to do effort, like, she's there and have something to say, and she's acting and she's playing and have little screen time, and now she, like, there is little improvement because she's dating the main guy, but honestly,
I think it's I think it's a CW problem, but I also would like to say that you bring up Josie reminded me that it seems that every other CW show knows how to do black hair but The Flash. And I just really thought about that. Like, I just thought about that. I've watched a couple episodes of Riverdale. I'm like, she has her natural hair. Like, everyone's got natural hair going on. Like, why is it that the Flash cast just? It's not even like. And I know that they should. Wait, they should have Van too, right? Am I?
Riverdale shoots in Vancouver too.
Yes, and I think they have the same producer, something like that.
So, you know what? It's not Greg. Greg produces beautiful shows. All American. Well, that show has its issue with colorism too, but let's not get into it. He does a lot of good shows. I think the problem is the Flash itself. It's just backstage. It's not diverse.
Yeah.
And they have the opportunity. I also don't think Greg is as involved in the shows as he was in the beginning. Also.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think. But I think. Yeah. I just feel like that's. I just realized that that's a huge thing too. Like if it's not like, it's not like they're not available because they clearly. There's a lot of things that go on with the Flash, y'all. But you know what? Next week we'll be here talking about the show, and we're gonna do a whole episode review. It's gonna be great, and we're gonna be doing episode reviews for the entire rest of the entire season. And obviously, whenever the show is on, we'll be doing an episode review, talking about the episode, what we thought about it. It'd be really great, and I really enjoyed these past couple weeks, kind of just trying to having you guys get to know us, and having our thoughts out there. It's really great. But I'm really excited to do episode reviews, talk about the episode on the show itself. That's what brings us joy, for the most part, joy. Except for the West Island drought, R.I.P. We're so divorced now, but it's okay.
Yeah. We're getting back together.
I know.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Well, Barry might be sleeping on the couch for a while, or go back to Cisco's, or also, cry like the.
He might be dying in November, but let's just.
We're just gonna ignore that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, it's been a really great episode, guys. I really, really appreciate all the love we've had the past couple of weeks. We appreciate all the comments, the love, and just you guys have been great and amazing. And also,
thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, we love it. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it, and we hope you'll come back with us next week when the Flash episode premieres. We're gonna be talking about it on the Tuesday after it premieres, but it'll be there at some point. Y'all see it. It'll be great, and we hope you enjoy. We're so excited for episode reviews. We love you guys. Thank you so much. All right,
Thank All American and Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh, don't forget to watch All American. I'll even watch it, but because Alyssa's not here, I'm gonna say it for y'all. Don't forget to watch All American. Also, Stan John West Allen. What else?
And Egg and Mayo Sandwich.
Egg and Dagger, because they need the viewership.
Enjoy a good egg and mayo sandwich, as Alyssa would say. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the video, and comment what you think. We will love to hear you guys think. Share your thoughts with us. We share them with you. Thank you again, and we hope you have a good day, week, and we'll see you next week. All right, bye.